So this subject is very confusing to people about the decimal places and sig figs. We'll start with decimal places. So in this case, for example, here you have one decimal place, but here you have 4 decimal places. So what do? You only care about one decimal place. So whatever your answer comes out to be, you just put it to one decimal place. So right now, if I do this in the calculator, I will get 8.3083, but we should only put one decimal place. Why? Because we have one decimal place here, here we have 4, we go with the least. For the other one, here I have 4 decimal places, here I have 2, I must only end my answer with 2 decimal places. So right now, if I do the math here, I will get 42.0706. I must only keep 2 decimal places. Okay, how about for this one? Here I have 1 decimal place, here I have 2 decimal places, but here I have 0 decimal places. That means my answer has to be a whole number. Now, if I do the math, I will get 5.74, but like I said, I should have 0 decimal places. I have to round this to a 6. And now we're going to move on to significant figures. So here, for example, I have 3 significant figures, and here I have 4 significant figures. Okay, so here I have 3 sig figs, and here I have 4 sig figs. My answer has to be only 3 sig figs. So I must only end up with 3 sig figs. Now my answer is going to be 1, 2, 0, 6. I meant 12.0658. I must only keep 3 significant figures. Therefore, I have to remove the 58. And this 06 has to be rounded to a 1. So I'm going to get 12.1. Okay, for the next one, here I have 2 significant figures. As you can see, the zeros on the left in a decimal number, I don't count them toward my sig figs. And here I have 4 significant figures. That means my answer has to end up with 2 sig figs. You should always go with the least. So now my answer is going to be 0.0072065238. You should never write the entire number, just write 2 sig figs. Like I told you before, in a decimal number, the zeros on the left don't count toward your sig figs, so don't care about them. And start erasing from the right. So I'm going to erase all that, and I must only end up with 0.0072. For my next example, here I have 4 sig figs and here I have 2 sig figs. I must end up only with 2 sig figs, end up with the least. So I'm going to end up with 213.752. I must only make that into 2 sig figs. Now, what I will do is I will be basically erasing anything after the point. In fact, I'll take the point away, right? And now I'm going to turn my number into scientific notation. What that means is, right now I'm going to just put a dot in here. Okay, so I'm going to have 2.13. And since I have, after this dot, 2 numbers, I must write times 10 to the power of 2. Okay, now don't forget, I must only end up with 2 sig figs. I have to remove that 3. And now my answer became 2.1 times 10 to the power of 2. Okay? Now the question that is on everyone's mind is, what exactly is a sig fig? So for example, in the case of 20, we only have 1 significant figure. The reason is because the 0 on the right of a whole number would not count toward your sig figs. Now here, if I put a dot next to the 0, it's going to make that 0 of the whole number count. So now here I have 2 sig figs. In a decimal number, the 0 on the right does count as sig figs. So here we have 2 sig figs. In a decimal number, the 0 on the right of the point counts. So 3 sig figs. But here, for example, The zeros on the right of a whole number don't count. Just the 2 will count. So in this case, I just have 1 sig fig. If I wanted to make those zeros count, I could just put a dot, and now the zeros will count, and now here I have 3 sig figs. As of this moment, for this whole number, the 0 on the right doesn't count, so we just have 2 sig figs. If I wanted to count, I must put a period, and now it's basically 3 sig figs. The 0 in the middle of a whole number does count as a sig fig. So in this case, we have 3 sig figs. Here we have 4 sig figs. How about a decimal number? The 0 on the left of the point does not count. So here we just have 1 sig fig. The 0 on the left does not count, but the 0 on the right counts. Here we have 2 sig figs. Zeros on the left don't count, but the 0 on the right counts. 2 sig figs. The zeros on the left don't count. 1 sig fig. The 0 on the right counts in a decimal number, so 3 sig figs. 3 sig figs. The 0 on the right of a decimal number counts, 3 sig figs. The 0 on the left does not count, but the 0 on the right counts. And that's about it.